beep, 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 and welcome to the court of the Edijester. How the devil are we, good people? It's a nice cold morning here today. It was lovely for a few days, wasn't it? Now it's gone bloody freezing. So, teaching week, having a fantastic time with the warrior teachers. Yesterday, post-Roman Britain. Fascinating. Extraordinary stuff. Looking at the history of organisational development and how organisations fall for nonsense like EDI and DEI, which is, of course, the subject of today's video. This is glorious. You know what I'm like when I get a bit of good news? I'm sitting on a gold mine. Yes, the Bank of England scraps diversity rules amid DEI backlash. I want to see more of this. You want to see more of this. The entire country wants to see more of this. And let's get rid of these nasty little bureaucrats that run it. So, Threadneedle Street abandons policies that would pile bureaucratic pressure onto UK firms. The Bank of England has scrapped planned diversity rules amid a global backlash over liberal corporate agenda. Yes, oh yes, joyous day, Kaloo Kalay. Regulators are to shelve proposals that would have forced, get this, 42,000 UK businesses to report diversity and inclusion data collected on their employees. What on earth made them think that was a good idea in the first place? Nope, lost. Can't think of why. Yeah, what should we do? Well, let's give them so much bureaucracy they can't do anything else. What a great idea! That'll help the economy. So, what's starting to happen, and you'll see this more and more actually, as we squeeze the life out of EDI and DEI, this disgusting industry that should never existed in the first place. You'll see more of this happening. What they're attempting to do is, if you are a central hub, imagine a central hub, civil service, for example, NHS, UKRI, any sort of funding body or anybody that's got an involvement that is large enough within a given supply chain will go, you ain't getting any money unless you do this. In other words, they're using corporate blackmail, emotional, financial blackmail, in order to make sure that people take it on board. Now, there's a number of these sort of Stonewall type things. You know, Stonewall's got one of them. Stonewall top 100 squeezed people. You know, they've got one of those, haven't they? How are you doing on your 15,000 word tick box thing? We're doing very well, Stonewall, thank you. Oh, man. There's more of them. There's one called the Race Equality Charter, right, which is the same thing again, right? What have you been doing for people of colour? What have you been doing? Have you been excluding people? No, tiggy boxy, pay money, have you training? So there's another one, the Race Charter thing. Then there's one called Athena Swan. And then there's another one that the LGBT Foundation runs. There's another one that another company. I mean, these things pop up all over the place. And essentially what you're doing as an organisation is signing up to have your gonads squeezed and to pay money to people who will then train you in nonsense that nobody needs to create an environment that is detrimental to Western economy and social and cultural cohesion. That's what it is. And if you don't get that yet, you ain't paying attention. So, they've shelved it, right? It followed criticism from the industry and politicians about putting even more bureaucratic burdens on British business, and comes amid a wider fight back against so-called diversity, equity and inclusion. Policies that critics say stifle growth and prevent companies from hiring on merit. The banks, remember, might, meritocracy, intelligence, talent and excellence. That's what warrior teachers about. Oh, while we're at it, become a warrior teacher, because it's the only thing that keeps me going. Buy me a coffee if you can do. That's it. Right, it's the usual. I need your support to keep going. Donald Trump, the US president, has pledged to roll back many diversity initiatives, signing into law new rules forcing companies to ditch their targets. Although UK companies have largely pledged to keep diversity policies unchanged, regulators are now under pressure to reduce the formal requirements for them to share information. Yeah, just ignore them. Rachel Reeves, that's Rachel from HR, the Chancellor, has urged Britain's regulators to stop strangling firms with red tape. Thanks, Rach, right? And put in place measures to boost growth instead. Good God. From you? The Treasury Select Committee, led by Dame Meg Hiller, would also raise concern over the diversity plan and the burden on business. So, credit where credit's due, Rach. You keep at them. Just get these people gone, eh? Because if you think, Rachel Reeves, that they need to stop strangling firms with red tape, and you think it's because of EDI, DEI, you can't support any of it, love. So you're going to need to speak up. Get rid of it all. They must all be spinning. I thought it was a good thing. No, it does not like it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Ask Keir. Keir, what do I do? Tell them to not be using so much red tape. Right, okay, I'll do that. Right, thank you, Rachel. Next. Sam Woods, the PRA chief executive, said the contentious proposal clashed with Miss Reeves' aims and would now be shelved. In a letter to Dame Meg, he said, there is a growing emphasis in our work on reducing regulatory burdens on firms while still delivering our objectives. And adding significant new requirements in this area could be seen as in tension with that approach. Do you think? Right, okay. Just cut as much red tape as possible. You know what businesses should be doing? They should be doing business, not dealing with the bloody government, HMRC, DWP, and every Tom, Dick and Harry who sets up some goddamn con and expects business to be part of it. Just get back to doing business. Shrink the state. STS. That should be our motto. STS. Bring it on. Given this, we do not currently plan to publish new rules on diversity and inclusion and do not intend to return to this question until after the substantive implementation of any new legislation in this area. What do you think that means? You tell me in the Dubras. Under the PRA and FC plan, this is the potential, all that nonsense, companies would have been required to set diversity targets every year and link these to the pay of senior managers. You see, that's how you get what is essentially equity or communism to stick. These people. As part of this, businesses and HR departments would have been forced to collect mountains of data on diversity efforts and report these to the regulators, right? So the important thing here is that they no longer have to do that. That's a great start. I hope they don't go back, come scurrying back and call it something different. And what are we doing now? What's it called? It's called beabetterhuman.com. Oh, is it? What's that all about? Equity. Ah, right. So you've just recolored it, have you? You've given it a new hat and an overcoat, have you? So it looks different, and you've just brought back the same rubbish. Guilty. Watch them like hawks. Mr. Wood says the government has introduced laws in these areas that could achieve many of the same aims. What does that mean? Many are being addressed through the new Employment Rights Bill. See, including gender action plans and disability and ethnicity pay gap reporting. So in other words, they've given it up because it exists in the new Employment Rights Bill, which, by the way, is an abomination. They simply won't leave people alone, will they? They won't. Right? Which is what they should be doing. They should be getting off the backs of business. They should be getting off the backs of the individuals. STS, shrink the state. Now, go and read the rest of it. Well, there isn't much left, actually, but you get the idea from what I've gone through. This is a disaster. It's all a disaster. Yes, it's good news they're not doing it, but if they put it in the Employment Rights Bill and you've got this kind of stupid ethnicity data, disability, I've got no issue with. But even to a certain degree, we have to be careful about that. But gender action plans, ethnicity action plans, all I can say is this government needs to get in the bin and to stay there. That's all I think. But you'll tell me what you think, as you usually do, in the Dubras. All right, so, yeah. Go away. Bye-bye. That's your lot for this morning. I'm going to go teach you warrior teachers. Yeah. See you later. Bye.